Somalia's parliamentary and presidential elections are set to take place in the next 6 weeks. Al-Shabaab, the terror group, is threatening to target elders and officials and lawmakers who are taking part in the vote. Now, due to security challenges, elections will be decided behind closed doors by more than 14,000 clan representatives. They will select 275 members of the lower house of parliament, while the recently formed regional state governments will nominate an additional 54 members to the upper house. The president will be elected on November the 30th by members of both houses of parliament. Well, for more on this, Fidelis Mbar is joining us now on the set. Fidelis, so just why has it taken so long for these elections to be held in Somalia, first of all?
Well, the country's electoral commission has blamed their logistic problems and also financial problems for the delay. They said that they don't have enough funds, and then also they've attributed the rising case of insecurity in the country to the delay. They want to ensure that things are properly sorted out, even though the United Nations has come out to say that they feel like, they've expressed concern that somehow that the electoral process was being manipulated, because they feel like there are interferences here and there by the people who are, who like the clan heads, those in power and all that. But it's largely due to logistics and also insecurity. These are like the major problems, because it's not so safe trying to, even move around, talk of people coming out to take part in elections, because Al-Shabaab, the main militant group operating in Somalia, has asked its members that they should do all they can to disrupt the country's electoral process. And they've even said that they are ready, they vowed sort of to attack people who actually go out to queue to be able to take part in elections.
So it's a declared aim by Al-Shabaab to disrupt these elections. And what are the Somali government trying to do to make sure that they can protect people who want to come out and exercise their democratic right?
Well, this is actually why they've shelved the idea of one person, one vote. Because, this is like the real election that was supposed to have taken place in 47 years of the country's existence. Because the 2012 elections was mere selection, just based on people who were voted in. About 135 people, elected parliamentarians. They just handpicked people from different clans, different states. But now you have about 14,000 people who are going to elect these parliamentarians, who will in turn elect the president. So they resorted to this selection process because people can't go out to vote, and they are only aiming for a full, more like a general election where people will be able to queue in the year 2020. By then, they hope that security would have improved and logistics will be much, much better, so that people will feel safe to even come out, to even campaign, because as we speak, those candidates who are going to stand for elections, they've merely been consulting their clan elders. They've merely been going around telling their political leaders in their domain. They're not openly coming out to campaign like what we see in other countries, where people go conduct election rally, campaign rallies, where people go out to solicit for votes. So it's been a case of them just appealing to their clan heads and leaders to be able to get support to get into the parliament before the election of the president.
And what's the sense of people in Somalia about that process? I mean, obviously it's been used because it's pragmatic, it's the safest way of trying to make sure there is some kind of election. Are people happy that they're able to challenge their clan leaders to make sure that they get elected votes? And how is it being observed by the UN and the EU? Are there monitors on the ground to make sure this is free and fair?
Well, starting with the monitors, it's actually just being supervised by elders and clan heads. So maybe by the November 30th election, when the president will be voted into power, that's when maybe all the international bodies will actually more like in the open come to observe what is happening. But as it stands now, opinions are divided. Some people feel, okay, yeah, the country is not safe enough. It's fair enough for us to just, allow our representatives to go ahead to elect those in parliament who will now elect the president. But some are feeling, that they should have put in logistics in place to ensure that the country is safe enough for them to be able to exercise their franchise. And also, something that has been more like, been in dispute is 30% of these seats are supposed to be reserved for women. But the clan heads, some of them have vehemently opposed, saying that they will never allow a woman to be able to, be elected. So this is also part of the process that has been, resulted in the delays, because they are yet to reach an agreement as to how, the parliament will be composed ahead of the presidential election.
Okay, Fidelis, for now, thank you.